Hi, you're back at Treetop Lodge, and this is Cooking with Connie, and I'm Connie. Today we're going to do something kind of fun. We're going to make something I've never made before, and we're going to do it in our allotted time here. We're going to make a chocolate souffle. So, I actually wrote it down. I say I'm not big on following recipes, but when you're baking, you kind of have to pay a little bit more attention. I've got my oven preheated to 350. I've got a brand new souffle dish. Got this on clearance yesterday. Souffle dishes are kind of hard to find. I guess souffles aren't all that popular anymore. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to coat the inside of it with a little bit of butter. And then I'm going to dust it with a little bit of sugar, kind of on the sides and on the bottom, and kind of knock it around so it kind of coats all the way around. If this turns out, it's going to be great. If it doesn't, it'll still be pretty. I have my oven preheated to 350. Now we are going to mix 6 eggs. And a little hint here, we're going to mix this in the blender. Make sure your blender has all its parts, because if it doesn't have this part, you're in trouble. So thank you, Nancy, for that save, because I was about to start pouring things into the blender without the blade. So I've got my 6 eggs started. Now I'm going to heat up my chocolate just a little bit more. I've got 3 ounces of bittersweet chocolate. I'm going to get that started. Get the eggs moving a little bit. I like to start at the bowl, and then we're going to toss it into the blender. From there we have about a half a cup of regular white sugar. We have, the recipe called for a liqueur. It called for hazelnut. Hazelnut's not my favorite thing, but I love Sabroso, so we have Sabroso. This is Sabroso. It's a coffee-flavored liqueur similar to Kahlua, but not as sweet, and I like it. I have an 8-ounce package of cream cheese. Now this recipe, the original portion of the recipe, came from a cookbook from the, I'm not sure I should say the, well, Philadelphia brand cream cheese. I kind of took that and played with it a little bit. So, stop. I don't want to burn the chocolate. There we go. Whoa, that's hot. All right, now I'm going to take, I'm going to double check. I have my eggs, my sugar. I have my chocolate, my liqueur, and my cream cheese. I'm going to put that all in the blender. And blend it till it's smooth. Ooh, baby, that's hot. Woo! All right, it's in the blender. We're going to put the top on it. Now we're going to blend it probably about 30 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, till it's smooth. There we go. It's happening. Look, it's getting all smooth. Woo! This is fun. Okay, that last 15 seconds was on high to aerate it. I'm going to give it just a little bit more. They tell me the trick to a souffle is that it's light and fluffy. We shall see. I'm going to pour it directly into the souffle pan, and it's going to go into the oven for 40 to 45 minutes until it domes. If it doesn't dome, oh well, we still have dinner. So there we go. Into the oven. Oops. Forgot I still have food in the oven. We have a lot going on here in Connie's kitchen. I always have something going in, something coming out. So we will move that. And then we will throw this in. Set our timer for, I always set for the lower end, so I'm going to set it for 40 minutes. If I can remember where the kitchen timer is. 4:0, start. All right, so there you have it. We were experimenting together, which is always fun. Don't look at my sink. I like to keep my sink clean, but I'm in a little time wrap here. Now I'm going to make spinach and bacon pasta over linguine with Casseri cheese. So the first thing we need is bacon. Who doesn't love bacon? These days you can get bacon in everything. Ice cream, candy, cake. I want to brown these up. And I find it's a little bit easier to handle if I cut them in half. Got the pan going. Get the bacon going. And bacon is not, it's going to end up being crumbled. If you want to crumble it before you cook it, you can do that too. Sometimes that's a little bit quicker. But we're going to get that started. There we go. And a little zhuzh here. All right, get my garbage bowl back out. Here's our spinach. Now I already washed the spinach. You want to make sure that you wash it first and kind of pat it dry. And I never throw, if something is still good and viable, even if there's a small amount of it, I don't throw it away. Because sometimes I'll walk in the kitchen and that's how I build my whole menu, is just out of the bits and pieces that are left behind. Now I'm going to slice up some red onion. And you notice I use a lot of red onion in cooking. It's a wonderful flavor. It cooks down and leaves such a wonderful sweetness behind. And like I said before, I will eat it raw, but a lot of people don't. So that's all right. I'm going to get my bacon moving here. And because I'm getting smarter all the time, I'm going to turn my water on for my pasta right now. There we go. That's for the linguine, which is right here. All right, so at this point, we're going to get the bacon going, and then I'm going to throw the pasta, the spinach directly in the pan with the bacon, and let it cook up together. Long way, but it'll work. Now this looks like a lot of spinach. This is going to make maybe 3 servings because spinach really cooks down. So we're going to get the bacon going. So I went outside a little while ago to take a break and enjoy this beautiful summer day, and I had the weirdest feeling I was being watched the whole time I was out there, which of course you guys are all here, but I didn't expect anyone to be outside, so I don't know what that was about. But it's a magical place up here at the lodge, so it didn't really bother me, just made me curious. Maybe I'll go out later and do some hunting with a camera and see what I can find. All right, so we're all set there. And I just have to wait for my bacon to come up. And then we will, I'm sorry. I smell bacon and I get a little crazy. I mean, everything else just goes out of my head. But I'm going to get the bacon up, and then we're going to put the rest of our ingredients together. And then we'll check on our souffle. So join me back here at Connie's kitchen in a little while. And if I'm not here, I may be outside hunting, looking around to see what I can see. So check back. I'll see you in a little bit.
You're watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford, Addison Township, and the village of Leonard.
Hi, welcome back. Looks like our bacon's ready, so I'm going to take it off and let it drain. What we don't want, we got to keep that bacon grease because that's actually what we're going to cook the spinach in. So this is one of those meals that you can kind of call healthy because it's got a lot of spinach, but then it's got a lot of bacon grease too. But we're allowed to be bad once in a while, in moderation. So I'm going to take my spinach and put as much of it in the pan here as I can. Oh, wait a minute. First, forgot my onions. Throw the onions in. Throw in some spinach. Throw in some salt and pepper. Does that smell good? Of course it does. You're not here, but I'll tell you it does. A little bit of salt and pepper. When I put the lid on this, even though for some reason I'm missing the right size lid, it doesn't matter. The steam and the heat from the bacon is going to cook and wilt the spinach. There we go. Now I'm going to put that on very low. So I just want to keep it warm. And after a couple minutes, we're going to give it a little zhuzh and move it around a little bit. I've got my water cooking over here, so that'll be up soon, and we'll start the linguine. So I was talking earlier about my free meal, not my free meal program. It's actually sponsored through Love Inc., and it involves several area churches. And I was fortunate enough to join a team at the Oxford United Methodist Church. And we cook the second Wednesday of every month, and when there is one, the fifth Wednesday. And it's been a really wonderful experience. And I've kind of turned it into another thing. I have, you probably see it around here somewhere, I have a tip jar. So whenever people come up to the lodge, if they want to leave a tip of some sort, it goes into there, and that helps offset our cost for the free meal program. There is a budget for the program, but our team, we got together and decided we would generate all of our own funds, which gives us a lot of leeway as far as what we serve and how we prepare and how we serve it. And it's been very, very rewarding. It's really wonderful. And it's a lot of fun. So hopefully you can all come with me in the near future, and we will go to free meals together. And you can see the process from the kitchen and all my wacky volunteers. Everybody's got their strong suits and everybody's got their little bit of weirdness, but it's a lot of fun and we really enjoy it. And our guests enjoy it. And we've involved the kids, we've involved people from the community, and a lot of people that are having a tough moment are able to get a nice fresh meal. And we've had people come back after they got back on their feet and make donations because they were so grateful that they were able to be helped in that way at that time. So that's one of my favorite groups here in town. Another group I like to work with a lot is Canine Stray Rescue, and I'm sure most people around Oxford know about them. Last year for Christmas, instead of gifts and tips from my various clients, I asked for donations, and I ended up spending most of December and most of January driving around to various people's homes and picking up their dog supplies and different things that they had that they didn't need anymore and taking it all up to Canine. And sometimes these people filled my car twice over, and it was wonderful. So that's the kind of fun stuff we love to do when we're not doing this. Because I have a puppy at home that was a stray. She didn't come from Canine, but she had a rough start in life. And we all know how that can be. So all right, I'm going to move my spinach around a little bit here. I want to turn it so I'm getting the bacon out, the bacon juice all on there, get the red onions mixed in. And basically this is just wilting down at this point. See how it's getting, we're getting less and less of it all the time. Just keep that going, keep some heat on it. My water is boiling, so I'm going to add my linguine. Now this drives my husband nuts, probably because he's Italian. But when I cook linguine, if I'm cooking a small quantity, so I'm not using the big pot, I'll break it. It makes it easier to handle, it cooks faster, makes it easier to serve. Get it in the pot there, zhuzh it around a little bit. And then we'll let that go. There we go. All right, so our souffle is in the oven, and I don't have a dinner plate, so excuse me, I'm going to grab one. This is such a simple meal, and you can really make it something special by what I'm about to do next. This is Kasseri cheese. It's a Greek cheese. It's kind of soft, so you want to keep it in the fridge till you're ready to shred it or grate it or however you're going to use it. It's got a kind of a buttery, kind of a nutty aroma. When I was a kid, my folks always had Liederkranz cheese. Stuff smelled, as my daughter would say, like bad feet. I could never go anywhere near it. Turns out that came from someplace in Indiana and it's no longer produced. But what I discovered as I got older is sometimes the fragrance has nothing to do with the taste. And I wish now I'd had a chance to try that Litterkranz because it might have been something really good. I know my parents sure liked it. So Kasiri is one of those. When you first take it out of the package, it's very strong. But when you use it in your cooking, it takes on this velvety, buttery quality, and it's really lovely. So I'm just going to rough grate some of that so that we can put it over the top of our spinach when we're ready to serve it. So there we go, some nice, fresh Kasiri. Another cheese that's nice for this recipe is Mazithra, which is another Greek cheese. It's a very dry white cheese and difficult to find. I usually end up, can usually get it down in Rochester, but it's not something that's widely carried. Or if you happen to be down in Greektown, the Greek markets carry it. So now I'm going to need my bacon, because no, we're not throwing the bacon away. And if it doesn't want to just, well, this is crumbling nice. Sometimes you get those big bubbles and they don't want to crumble. So I'm going to crumble up my bacon. There we go, and that's all ready. And check my pasta here. That's coming along nicely. And let's check and see what our spinach is doing. And be aware, I left the burner on. I know I said don't do that. But I'm standing right here. I'm going to check it again. Now see now how that's nice, rich, green. When I was a kid, I'm told I loved spinach. And then I got older and I hated it. And then I learned how to cook it. And now I love it. I love it fresh. I love it cooked. I don't love it frozen out of a package though. That's a whole different thing. So there we go. We have our spinach and bacon pasta going. We have our Kasiri cheese ready to go on the plate when we plate it. We have our bacon crumbled and ready to go. And I'm going to check the souffle, and I don't know if I should open the door or not. So let me see where the oven light is. Ooh, it's puffing up. It's actually doing something. So that'll be the big mystery for today, is if the souffle comes out or not. But we're just going to let it sit there quietly and do its thing. So when we come back, we'll put together the main course and hopefully take a souffle out of the oven that will be fabulous. And if it's not, like I said before, I always keep frozen fruit in the freezer, and I've got some vanilla ice cream if I have to throw something together quickly. So join us back here while I'm going to snitch some Kasiri cheese. I won't eat my bacon. And we'll put it all together and you'll have another nice, easy, simple meal. So join me back here at Connie's Kitchen.
Here we are in front of American Legion Post 108 in Oxford. Now, every Friday between 12 and 8:30, they serve up some of the best fish in Michigan. Follow me inside. We're going to take a look around the post. All right, here we are now on the Hull side of the post, where you can get tables for anywhere to 6 to 30 people. And before or after you're done eating, take a walk around and browse through the second largest military museum in the state of Michigan. All right, now we're over on the restaurant side of the post, where most of the fun happens. As you can see behind me, they've got darts, pool tables, 50-50 raffles, and any kind of fish you can think of, baked cod, walleye, combo plates, all right here at your beck and call.
You're watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford, Addison Township, and the village of Leonard.
Hi, we're back in the kitchen. I'm Connie, and this is Connie's Kitchen at Treetop Lodge. And now we're going to put together our main course, and then if all goes well, we'll take our souffle out of the oven, and it will be wonderful. So I have drained off my pasta, and which is just a basic linguine. It's a little bit heartier. Spinach is kind of heavy, so you don't want to use angel hair because that's a little too thin. And regular spaghetti, well, it's kind of boring. I like linguine because it's kind of flat and gives you a little bit of character. So there we go. Get the linguine on the plate. At this point, it's very boring. This is where it gets interesting, right here. And again, like I said, if you're not a fan of spinach, you really should give this a try because it can turn you around. And you should always try new things. If you don't like them, don't try them again. But it can be quite gratifying. So there you go. I've got my onions, and all we've done is cook them down in the bacon grease with the red onions and the spinach. Look at that. Look at that. Is that beautiful? Nice bright green. You can see that when the onions change color, right there you can see they've lost a lot of what people consider, ooh, I don't like onions, they're too potent. A lot of that has cooked off, and they're kind of transparent. Get a nice big helping there. Then we're going to add the Kasiri cheese, which is wonderful. Look at that. They call that toothsome because when it starts to melt, it gets that gooey. It's not as stringy as mozzarella. And then our pièce de résistance, bacon. Just go ahead. There's no such thing as too much bacon, right? And there you have a very simple main course that really can be put together in a few minutes. And there you have it. Bacon spinach pasta over linguine with Kasiri cheese and crumbled bacon. Really, what could be better? I'm going to serve that. Just a little bit of bread. I'm not a big bread eater, but I know a lot of people like to have a little bit of bread, especially a dry bread to finish up with. So there's dinner. Now, I was talking earlier, fill you in a little bit on how the lodge operates for different events. We have a wine dinner coming up on Sunday. We will have guests arriving at about 4 o'clock, as I said, and Dean will be here to present the various wines, starting with a sweet wine with appetizers all the way through dessert. We will begin down in the gathering space, and I've found that that's a beautiful way to begin an event. Not everybody's clumped into one place. So it's a nice big open space. Dean will be presenting the initial courses down there, and then people will be free to wander around. The whole lodge will be open, wander around, see what we have to offer, take a look at the rooms, and enjoy their hors d'oeuvres, and hopefully they will be so entranced that they will want to come back. That's the whole plan. But we will also have another wine. We'll do this monthly. We just haven't set the date for October yet because Dean was in France, and so I didn't get a chance to talk to him and find out what October looks like. But he'll be back in time for Sunday. So that's kind of the flow. We're going to be having, we just booked a shower, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start getting the guests off at the other end, because you don't end up with groups where everybody comes in, sits down, eats, leaves. Kind of boring. And we want people to enjoy the whole experience of the lodge. So that's why we start on that end and work our way down here. And even when we have formal dinners, which you would think everyone would, because I don't necessarily know everyone ahead of time, they still all end up in the kitchen here. I don't know why that is. It's the heart of the home, I guess. But that's nice for me because then I get to spend a lot more time with people. I'm going to check my timer here now. And it looks like our souffle is souffleing. And this is very exciting because pretty soon it's going to beep. And then I'm going to take it out of the oven and we'll let it cool for a bit. And then it'll be ready for dinner. So what else do we have coming up? Holidays. We're going to be doing some holiday cooking shows. As I said before, we're going to get the kids in the kitchen. I talked to them, and Tate especially, my niece Tate will be here. She's also going to be starting to help me here at the lodge and acting as a waitress and a server for our various events. And she also helps me at the free meal program along with her brother Liam, who is a real delight. And so she'll be here in the future. And I'm started looking at soup recipes as a jumping off point. I don't actually copy recipes, but to get some ideas, because we're going to get, whether we like it or not, we're getting into that place where we're going to start wanting to make comfort foods and soups and sandwiches. The other day I was playing around and did kind of a modified Monte Cristo sandwich, which was just wonderful. And I asked my husband, I said, you want to try it? He said, what's in it? I said, no, you try it first. He loved it. Next thing I know, he said, when you're done with that, would you make me a couple? I'll let that go. And he really liked it. And that's a combination of sweet and savory and cheese and meat and toasty goodness. And those are the kind of things as we head into fall, it's going to start to taste really good. And that's kind of how I combat winter. And if this winter is anything like the last one, we're going to need to combat it. But with small bites, not huge bites, because otherwise if we do that all winter long, by spring, we're in big trouble. We don't want that to happen. So I'm ready if you are. Let's see if our souffled, for whatever reason, doesn't want to turn off. So there we go. I just turned it off. I tend to forget. Push button stoves, they throw me. Look at this. Look at that. Is that beautiful? And if you were here and you could smell it, I used bittersweet Ghirardelli chocolate. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. Ghirardelli chocolate is fabulous, and it's great for eating, it's great for cooking. It's just really nice all around. It doesn't have that overwhelming sweetness that a lot of the other commercial chocolates have. So I'm just going to take a little bit of plain old confectioner's sugar. Just a little bit. This isn't even adding flavor, it's just adding a little bit of eye candy. And some crumbled, I buy this mixture of already crumbled, already toasted, lots of different kind of nuts. And we're going to let that sit there and cool for a bit. And I'll probably have to tell you about it next time I see you, because it's not going to be cool today or anytime soon to eat. It's going to take a while. So come back to the kitchen with me. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. I'll have a lot of new things. I want to hear from you. I want to hear some recipe ideas or suggestions or things you're curious about. Give me a call at 248-933-4579. Hit me up on Facebook, Treetop Lodge, Oxford. Email stormy3958@att.net, and watch for our website, because that's coming soon. If you hit the Facebook page, all these things are updated and about every time I can get to the computer, because right now it's just feeding into the news feed. So either you don't see it at all or you'll see it too much, but what can I say? I'm enthusiastic. I love what I'm doing here. I love the lodge, and I just want to share it with everyone. So come back, join us again, and thank you so much for being here. And let's keep those hits coming up on YouTube, because I want to set some records here. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.
Hello, I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles.
Together, Terry and I host the weekly news Monday through Friday at 12, 6, and 11 p.m.
Broadcast on Charter Channel 191 and AT&T Uverse 99, we only cover news that impacts our local Addison and Oxford area. In other words, by all accounts, news that would normally not receive from any other televised source.
But chances are, if it's local, it will be found on Oxford Community Television and OCTV.
For the weekly news, I'm Terry Stiles.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Together, we invite you to join Terry and me for our next OCTV weekly news program.
Here we are in front of American Legion Post 108 in Oxford. Now, every Friday between 12 and 8:30, they serve up some of the best fish in Michigan. Follow me inside. We're going to take a look around the post. All right, here we are now on the hall side of the post, where you can get tables for anywhere to 6 to 30 people. And before or after you're done eating, take a walk around and browse through the second largest military museum in the state of Michigan. All right, now we're over on the restaurant side of the post, where most of the fun happens. As you can see behind me, they've got darts, pool tables, 50-50 raffles, and any kind of fish you can think of, baked cod, walleye, combo plates, all right here at your beck and call.
You're watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford, Addison Township, and the Village of Leonard.